Do you or someone you know have a shed as messy as this? Hang around and I'll show you how to build the shelving you saw on TikTok. Like all great makeovers, we got to start by getting some rubbish out of here so we got some room to work. And like all hoarders' paradises, there's a lot of rubbish. But now that we got some room to move, we can start building some frames. This design's based off the 60 litre containers you can buy from Bunnings for about 15 bucks. And we're making it to suit 35 of the little buggers. I'll throw a cutting list in the description down below. All we've done is got a top plate, a bottom plate and a handful of studs, just like building a short wall frame. But if you're doing this at home and following the video, the top and bottom plate are 3650, the studs are 1750 and spaced 470 apart, and all the little rails are 620 long. I've had to make my frame just a touchy touch longer so it can fit between these shed posts, but I'll throw in a false stud and that'll make sure all the containers fit. Now that first frame's installed, we've just got to make another one exactly like it. Once it's all secured and I've checked that I've got 470mm between each stud, I'll muck around and figure out the rail spacings. What I eventually came up with that worked quite nicely was coming up 305mm from the top of the bottom plate to the top of the first rail, and then 350mm from the top of the first rail to the top of every rail after that. Don't worry, I'll put that down in the description too. Now that the brainwork's done, I'll secure a couple of those little rails to the new frame, throw some chipboard on top for a shelf, plumb everything up, and then it's onto the tedious task of fixing 70 rails to all of those studs. To make it a bit easier on yourself, mark out the end studs and then use a chalk line or a string line to mark everything in the middle. That way you'll keep everything consistent and have less mistakes, hopefully. Oh my god, they fit. I knew they would. Anyway, onwards. We got through at the end. It took some doing with that hardwood. I definitely recommend using pine or something like that, and you can just screw it in without having a pre-drill. But you can see you can pull the middle ones out just as easy as you can, the top or the bottom. And just to reiterate those measurements, 470 between the studs, 350 from top to top of all these rails, except for the bottom ones that are 305 from the top of the top plate to the top of the first rail. If you keep that even, you'll get it right, and if you don't, you'll have that mistake like I just did. But at least it was only one. Thanks for coming along, and yeah, we're going to put another bay of it just behind me over here, and that'll get us 70 of those 60 litre containers from Bunnings. And here's the finished product. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and leave a comment below on something you think we can be doing better. We'll catch you on the next one. Hooroo.